This will allow you to make sure your profits that have been driven down from not hitting the hours, not hitting your times, from the two circumstances I'm talking about above, can be corrected. And that is the most important part about this, is it's driving your profitability, allowing you to make that higher and higher and higher. My favorite topic is a really, really fun one today: speeding up cash flow. The companies that do gobs and gobs and gobs of snow plowing do it and are successful. They don't bill per push. They don't bill per occurrence. They bill a flat rate like insurance, with lows where if they don't get enough snow, this is the bottom, and then here's the tops. Like if you get more than the average, like it has protection for everybody in their contracts. You could wrap that in with all of your maintenance billing, and you could bill someone for 12 months of the year. You know, we talked about a workflow last week with Google Drive, and this kind of ties into that, but it's giving you a standard of the things you expect people to collect. The most exciting part of this is now it's letting more people than you collect those things. So if I have services and I'm getting tons of estimates coming in, I'm only one person. Maybe I've got other people working out or working in my company, and I'm still wearing most of the hats, but some of these people are in the field. Maybe as we're picking up, I'm able to utilize them to help do these estimates. Well, with this kind of system in place, with a set way to produce what you want out of an estimate, if they can gather a lot of the information for you, you can help delegate that out. So when this massive inflow comes in, you're able to handle it. You're able to get more people out there doing estimates, collecting the information, putting it through the system, kind of like we talked about with Google Drive. And then there can be someone back in an office punching these things out that really is skilled at looking over what they're looking at.
Branding just puts you in the position of being well known and telling the story, so people feel like they know your brand, they know about you, they have a feeling about what your brand is before you even walk in and try to sell something to them. And this is huge because it makes it so much easier to sell when they know the story of your company. Another part of this is getting this content, this video content that probably makes a lot of people uncomfortable. You need to get comfortable in front of a camera. This adds to everything. This adds to certainty when you go sell a landscape project. It adds to your ability to talk. It adds to everything that you need to do in your company. As you grow, you need to get better at communication. Being uncomfortable in front of a camera will make you better at all of that.
I'm in the motorhome. I'm on the way to Florida and the generator's running. Can you hear that bad, or is that fine? Where I'm like at the back of a Walmart. The pickup. All right, everyone. Today we are talking about what happens when you take the full-time leap. This is a big part of it. Going out, not knowing the outcome, going anyway and figuring it out. Committing first, figuring the rest out later. Entrepreneurs, they jump off of a cliff and build a plane on the way down. They don't know the outcome. It's not a job. It's not a job that you just go do and you know what you're going to get. You go out and you're building something on the way.
And now I don't have to ever be mad again because the office forgets to ask things that are important. There's a list. Now all I have to do is discipline off of, do we follow the list? And now do we need to add to the list because we found something else that's more important? And that's all about this organization thing. That's how you focus on affecting the whole. And the crazy thing that this has changed, all of a sudden we went where our guys don't forget stuff in the morning anymore. It's still going to happen, but we used to be rampant all the time. We get out, forget a rig, forget this, forget that. And all of a sudden we're getting out faster and we're not forgetting stuff. And here's another example of how it affects the whole. Now teams get out faster. Now we produce more income. Now our office doesn't have to run stuff to the teams. And now everybody in the company has been positively affected. All right, today we are talking about eliminating excuses within your company, starting with you. Unfortunately, a lot of the excuses in the company do start with us. And then it's a trickle down effect from there. And you're going to keep hearing me say this over and over again about this trickle down effect and coming from the leader. But these are 4 things you need to work at. And any coach, anybody you look at, they speak of like 4 quadrants. And these are always the 4. They're just called different things. When you're focusing on these things, when you're driving in these things, when you're putting a little bit of effort into each, that might mean in my passion box, 2 things that I do every day. First thing when I'm getting up, I'm doing dishes and I'm doing laundry because it's an act of service to my wife and it makes my relationship better. I'm filling that cup, making that thing better. And it is making all things in my life better because it makes that one thing better. It's easy to make excuses because when you're not focusing, when you're not filling your cup so you can go out and pour into other things, You want to come up with, man, well, we didn't hit our numbers right now because of this. I didn't have the sales because of this. We didn't get the employees hired because of this, versus just charging, coming up with ways to get around, get through, and get over all of the obstacles, because business is just a never-ending obstacle field. It's the one thing where the longer you play, the bigger chances you get killed, like, because it just gets more and more challenging, and you just become more and more of a warrior the whole time through, because you learn more and more skills.
Usually, like, successful people are a lot of times are looked at as lucky. There's times where I look at some of the things that happen in my life, I'm like, wow, I'm flat out lucky. But a lot of it's this, like, I'm writing down, I'm very conscious of what I want, and I'm very specific about what I want. And it allows those things to sometimes it just feels like you're stumbling into it. Go really, really big with your thinking, your goals, because usually you realize when you get there, wow, I could have done so much more. But you can't see that because you don't know what you don't know. I think that's such an important message when you're thinking about your goals and you're looking at your life, that we are capable of so much more than we think, and we just don't know it because we haven't been there.
It's our business, and we have to get good at a lot of shit that we don't like. And we're going to have to wear more hats than anyone in our company ever does in the growth of our company. But with that being said, as you grow, you get to bring on people who are good at other aspects that maybe you're not the best at. And then they can go and shine in those areas, so you can go shine in your areas. And this is where you start to take off the hats. You start to move yourself up the ladder. Hey, I don't have to follow up on every single thing because I've got someone following up on things for me. All of a sudden, I don't have to answer the phone for every single thing. I get to continue focusing on other things that continue to grow my business. All of these things are some of the biggest things that hold people back from moving up. Because I hear company after company after company talking about how they're afraid to hire an office manager, or they're afraid to just have an office person because they can't make sense of the money. But the flip side of that is exponential growth, because now you can keep everybody happier, because there's actually someone whose specific job is to answer the phone and make sure people are happy. If you don't have an avatar, if you don't know exactly, there's no guidance once you get to the interview process. There's no, well, this and this and this will work, that and that's okay. There's a never right there. We can't go with that person because that right there, that can't work. You're just interviewing people without anything. You're just asking them questions without a series of things that qualifies them as a candidate or not. It's like a buckshot approach. I've done this a lot in marketing. Before we hired someone to do targeted marketing, we did a buckshot approach. We didn't have it specific. We didn't have anything. We just threw it out there 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I think that's what most small business owners do, because they're just trying to get things going. They're just trying to get everything they need in a timely manner, because everything feels like it's important. So you're just going as fast as you can. A lot of times I never even thought about what motivated an employee. I just wanted someone to show up to work that wanted to work and wanted to get a paycheck. But without knowing what motivates them, without knowing their goals, without knowing who this person is, without defining that person we're going for, you have nothing. What kind of job are they even looking for? What do they look for in a job? What are the things that they look for outside of work? This is the more important one that I never really thought about. I mentioned to my wife, like probably 2 months ago, I said, wow, we are flying now. We are moving faster than we've ever moved on everything. That's alignment. That's what it does. So alignment is key to reaching your goals, building a team, growing your company, growing your family, and building relationships necessary just to scale your life. You have to be intentional with the things you say, the way you present it. And when you live an aligned life, things are different. Things move different. Things flow differently. Less people are going in different directions. So more people are pushing everything together. So how do you get aligned? I don't know what's been going on with our service here, but it has been a little laggy. What an amazing time of the year for this topic. This topic is huge. Your mission and values is so much in your company. And now is the prime time to get these in line when we're talking about how are we going to expand and kick butt in 2022. It's what the whole team is pushing to achieve. And having that big shining guiding light is what really cultivates your culture. Knowing that culture gets more and more important as you grow. Like you go away from when you start, you're sell everything, do all the work. As you get bigger and bigger and bigger, it becomes more about how do I keep the culture right? How do I keep the feeling of the people right? And the mission steers that. People push companies, and that culture is what drives that.
So I know some of you want to have separate locations, do things where there's more and more, you're replicating and multiplying what you already have. Your mission and the culture that drives is huge for that, because if you are stepping away from something, it has to have a culture to continue to push it.